morning and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the first of many weekly garden tours. Now we are already at the end of week 3, so let's catch up on this timeline a little bit. So on April 4th, I started my tomato seeds inside and they were doing pretty good. On April 28th, I started my cucumbers, beans, and dill. Now I know now you shouldn't start beans inside. They don't do well for transplanting. And my cucumbers did succumb to transplant shock. On May 28th, I planted my sunflowers after over a year of waiting. And June 7th was the day that we put this garden in. So on that day, I planted everything that I had started indoors, and I also planted some carrots. Now, a lot of my plants did succumb to transplant shock. I did not harden them off well enough, so I did have to plant a second round. So my beans, I planted the second round on the 12th, and my cucumbers just this past Friday, like a week ago. So let me give you a little look-see at how we're doing now. Let's start with the first bed. So in this first bed, we've got some carrots that are just starting to come up. I think my seeds got spread out quite a bit with rain and watering, so there's a little cluster I'm gonna have to thin out here. And then we have my beans. So you can see some of the older beans that are having a hard time, but there's a little sign of life, so I'm leaving them. And the beans that I planted, I think 2 weeks ago, they are doing great and they are growing so fast. These are burgundy bush beans. The beans themselves are actually burgundy purple until you cook them. And once they're cooked, they turn green. So they're kind of magic beans. Here in my second bed, we've got some rock stars and then some devastation. My tomatoes are doing very well. This one here is my star. I've already started taking suckers off, but they're doing so well. My cucumbers, however, most of my cucumbers are now dead from the first planting, except for this one. This one's doing pretty good with the exception of this leaf and some little pest issues here. Because of the transplant shock, I went with the second round of planting. So these guys here were planted just last week and they're already growing pretty quick. I've got to do some thinning out here. So my hopes of pickles are not totally gone. This is the biggest star of the show. Our lettuce is growing so fast. Look at that. Oh, amazing. It won't be long now until we get some salad. Let's go see how my potatoes are doing. Really wish this bed was closer. Either that or we had a hose buried in the ground or something. Maybe next year. Alright, so we are here at my second garden area. And I'm going to be showing you everything, weeds and all. That is my plans for later today, is to weed this garden bed. It is much in need. So much progress in this bed. Look at those potato plants. Got some sunflowers coming up too. Let's get a closer look. I've got so much work to do here this weekend, but I still wanted to update you on the growth before I tackle this guy. Let's start with the sunflowers. Some guys are still itty bitty. See seeds there. This one here, however, is starting to get some real height. It's very exciting. Whew. Oh my gosh, my rose. The walking space between these rows is not great. Basically 1 foot at a time. Definitely something we're gonna want to work on next year is making these rows a little nicer, having some more walking space and really properly tilling them. Yeah, lots of good stuff happening with these sunflowers. I'm very excited for those. And the potatoes have just boom. Let's go see the stars of the show here. Look at these. Incredible. Looks like the second round of potatoes are also popping through. That's exciting. It's actually quite the funny story with these potatoes. So we had decided pretty late that we did want to grow some potatoes. So I went on the hunt in town to a few nurseries on the hunt for seed potatoes. Well, they were sold out everywhere. So I decided to go online and order some seed potatoes to get here. In the meantime, I got some seed potatoes given to me by my grandma, and the potatoes in our kitchen had sprouted. So going from no potatoes at all to having 3 entire rows of potatoes to plant. It's a good thing I love potatoes. Now let's check on the stuff that was on our property before we got here. The raspberries and the choke cherries. As mentioned in my previous videos, I put in a lot of work in these raspberries this past spring. They are very much bushing out, and I definitely need to clean them up a little more. I'm noticing a few dead stalks I missed, but they are coming along very well. We are actually starting to see some blooms, which means we are about to get some raspberries. So yeah, raspberries are coming, guys. Our choke cherry tree is actually right next to our barn, which is now converted into Jesse's workshop. It's the biggest choke cherry tree I have ever seen, but my husband is currently working in the shop, so I will just show you some little clips. But the choke cherries have bloomed, they're already coming out, they're green, they just have to ripen. Then we can make some lovely jams and jellies. Last year we got 2 apple trees to plant near our barn, but Wilson was very much a tiny little puppy then, and he thought that this one was just a giant stick. And fair enough, now it is. It's pretty much dead. But right at the bottom, there's still some new growth, so we haven't lost complete hope on this. I think we're just going to trim it and let it grow back up. But we actually have some apples on this one. I'm hoping to get enough to make a yummy apple pie. One little area I haven't showed you guys yet is on our back porch. I have a few herbs and some onions growing. Say hello! So over here we've got some green onions that I just got at the grocery store and replanted. And this over here is my dill, and I wish you guys could smell it. It already smells so strong. And just this week it started budding. So that's exciting. Oh, it smells so good. And over here we've got some cilantro. No change there. I think it's actually a little too damp. I might have to fix the drainage there. That's my little herb garden. If I had one piece of advice for gardeners, first-time gardeners like me, it's to document, take pictures. The difference in growth is amazing, and you might not notice it just by looking at it day to day, but if you look back at pictures, it's incredible. I'm going to post on screen here some pictures of the lettuce and the difference in just a couple days. It's incredible. Take pictures, document. You'll love to see the change. Thank you guys for coming along with me on this garden tour, and we will see you next week.